All right, 105, 1 Browns, Detroit. Still back for Hip Hop and R&B. It's your boy Showtime Desire. I have 3 special guests in studio with me today. Julia, Allison, Marquis White, and Josh Gidley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
So before we get into why you guys are here, Sugar Boys is the movie that you guys are promoting, correct?
That's right.
Yep.
I just want everybody who is not familiar with your work, I want you guys like give them a little, 2-minute intro real quick about stuff that you've done and projects that you've done that they might be familiar with and didn't know that you guys were a part of. Actually, Julie, we'll start with you.
Sure. So my name is Julia Allison. I am a local actress. I'm a local model, local producer, and voice actress. So I've been on a plethora of independent film sets around the area and some shows and things like that. I've been really enjoying it. It's been wonderful. But mostly my bread and butter and my heartbeat is in Sugar Boys, this action film. And so that's what we've been really diving into lately and just kind of taking this film community by storm.
Dope. Okay, Marquis, what about you?
Yeah, so I've been in films. I've been saying 22 years, but I think it's like 24 now.
It's a lifetime.
Yeah, I'm older than you think. No, I've been working in films for about 24 years. I think I started with 8 Mile when the incentive program was here in Michigan.
Okay.
But yeah, just worked a ton when the incentives were here, and almost every film that came out. Not every film, but as much as possible. And then I did exploration around the world. I consulted for a few agencies. And yeah, when I came back, decided to start my own company, Enigmaw Studios. And the purpose of that was to, bring more control into our hands in terms of the destination for what we were trying to make.
Okay, nice.
So I don't like waiting for other people to make, the kind of stuff that I want to make. So.
Dope. Josh?
Well, how am I supposed to follow that? Yeah, I'm an actor local to Michigan. I started in 2021. My recent projects, I just had a premiere of a movie called The Bird Flies. I played Tommy. That will be on demand by the end of this month. Also, I just finished a project called Power Rangers Beast Hunters. The first episode out of 4 will be available this fall, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah,
Dope.
And then I also have a project you might have heard of. It's called Sugar Boys, where I play Damien Chad, and keep an eye out for that because you're in for a real treat for that.
Okay, so talk to us about Sugar Boys. What exactly is that movie about, and how did you guys get involved in the project?
Go, Marquis.
Well, all right, so yeah, Sugar Boys started, so, the past, I would say ever since the strike started in Hollywood, it was my endeavor, it was beforehand, obviously, but I wanted to make something where it was, like I said, 100% in my hands. So we started working on, I was working on a sci-fi project, and the people I was involved with, I'll just say it didn't work out. And so we wanted to kind of scale back. I wanted to get more of a grasp in terms of the capabilities and, the production, putting it together. So I was like, well, let me try an action film. So came up with a story about, 2 detectives that were they thought they were on a drug bust. Turns out it's powdered sugar.
Oh, wow.
So they're humiliated. And yeah, when they go back to the precinct, they're getting made fun of, and they're called the Sugar Boys, which is where the title comes from.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but in order to claim their reputation, they go on a wild goose chase of a kidnapping case. And so with that, they stumbled onto this crazy conspiracy. And what motivated me to create this story was, I think one of the biggest is that, Detroit, in particular Detroit film, you often see the same sort of films. I would say there's 3 categories of movies. You get urban drama, crime drama.
Right.
Young man gets caught up in whatever, and the gangs are out to get him or something nonsense. And that's fine. There's a good place for it, but my favorite was Boys in the Hood. So none of that really inspired me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That you get a lot of Christmas movies, and that's good. I think if you can make a solid Christmas, I loved Home Alone. You know what I'm saying? It's fantastic.
Classic. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but I think there's a plague in the industry, in particular in places like Michigan, and I don't blame the people that make these films, but I think it's too easy to go after low-hanging fruit. And my endeavor is to really we spent a lot of time in this movie. You know what I'm saying? You spend a lot of time putting a movie together, and if you're gonna put your time into anything, do the best you can. Can I swear on this, or is that all right? That's a
yeah,
no.
don't go crazy, but yeah, you good.
Well, you know, I get passionate about it.
Yeah.
So, but I want to do the best job I can, plain and simple. You know what I mean? And but that also means pushing myself to do better from where I started from. And so that was just the core motivator, to showcase Detroit as something more than, you know what I'm saying, the run-of-the-mill, easy
Stuff
to
that
find.
we've already seen.
Yeah, stuff you've already seen. Or if I'm going to do something you've already seen, because it's not like Sugar Boys isn't groundbreaking. It's not like it's this massive Oscar winner with this, you know what I'm saying, French, you know, avant-garde storytelling. But it's a film that it is a dive into the human character.
Nice.
You know, two police officers that come from very different backgrounds that clash for very specific reasons. You know, one is a family man. And that was another thing. So Swifty McVeigh, who is a lead actor in our film, you know, often he gets typecast. Now, he's a, you know, rap artist. He's a legend in Detroit. But for him, you know, it's about, like, he often gets cast as, you know what I'm saying, like this gangbanger or, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's not Swifty.
Nah, not even a little bit.
No, he is one of the
One
nicest.
of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
He's
super
by
dope.
nature, he's a hero.
Yeah.
You know?
No, really. Well, and he's a family man to me.
Yeah.
I talk to that guy. You ever see him around his kids? That guy inspires you.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, that's the character I wanted him to embody. And so he plays a cop, a good cop, who's, you know, trying to do almost too much of the right thing. And so I wanted to highlight that. And I also thought as well, that's key for the black community. You get a lot of that in, you know, and everywhere. That's not just Michigan, but everywhere. You know, the stereotype persists in so many ways that black folks are only committed to, you know, either reformed gangbanging in films, because typically that's what it is. You're reformed. I'm a reformed gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? Or something else. And I wanted Swifty to, you know, that's not even a thing in his role. He's a dude who does a good job. You know what I'm saying? He's a good family man. Has no issues there. And in fact, the other guy, Chris Reynolds, he's the owner of Detroit Life. You know what I'm saying? And Detroit Life is one of our highest sponsors on the film. You know, he's the guy that's got issues. And not that that's anything particular to a skin color, but what it's about is, you know, it's a deep dive into the character of someone, what happens when you're lonely, you know, you don't have a family to go to, and all you have is your reputation. And you're trying to rebuild that in order to, and sometimes you can take it too far. And so that's what the movie's about. It's a character study that people can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Situations that everybody can go through, no matter your skin color, no matter your, you know, socioeconomic position in life. This is something that everyone can identify with at any level. So
I like that.
And that was important for us. And to showcase Detroit as more than a city of crackheads. No offense, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's like we see too much. You see the blight in Detroit. Detroit's a beautiful city, and I think it deserves to be highlighted for the beauty that it has. Like, it's a lot of fun to go down. You know, we've got a lot going on in the city right now, and I really want people to see that.
Dope.
Yeah.
Julia and Josh, I want you guys to talk a little bit about your characters real quick. What can people, without giving too much of the film away, talk about the character that
Go
you
ahead,
play.
Josh.
Well, you see, Detective Damian Chad, he's a butt kicker. He's a force to be reckoned with. He's the most dominant one in the room.
You can say ass, bro. You ain't
Regardless of his personality. But he also has another side, you see. He's a poet, he's a musician, he's a deep thinker. In other words, he's bipolar.
Got you.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and it was a lot of fun bringing that character to life. Currently bringing that character to life because I'm still working. And, yeah, it's been a good time, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Was this a difficult character for you to play?
Well, you know, each character, and I'm sure Julia knows this as well, each character comes to you in a different way. There have been characters where I found them just staring at myself in the mirror for over an hour, just looking outward. There's other characters where I have looked inward and I've brought myself to that character. That's definitely one of these characters. A lot of experiences, a lot of his past events, which led him to be the person he is today. I brought that to myself, and that's why I think it was so fun and effective portraying that on camera.
Nice.
Yeah.
Julia, you are the lead female in this film.
Yes, I play the leading female role in it. Yes, that's correct. And my character's name is Wen.
Okay.
She is a force. She's bound. She's determined. She's kind of an activist, really, is what she is. And she sort of stumbles upon things that she learns and knows are not correct. She gets hints and clues without giving too much away that deeper issues are at play, that corruption's at play. that things need to be figured out, things need to be investigated. And so she, being the force that she is, does her own deep dive, which sure enough leads her into deep trouble. Yeah, and so with her, I find that her curiosity and persistence, because I'm a very ambitious woman, and I'm a very persistent person. If I am after something, like, I can draw those connections with her. And so I can bring those parts of me into the character and blend the two. But I will say, like, what's really beautiful is, like, the more you walk in the shoes of your character and the more scenes you get to play, the more script analysis you do, the more consultation with the director and the writer and your cast too. It's like the deeper you can dive into the story, the deeper you can dive into the character's skin and their heart and their feelings. And then, like, I'll tell you what's really beautiful, and then I'll tell you what's challenging. What's great is when you're in a scene and you're feeling it so deeply, and you're entrenched in the character, you're entrenched in the moment, you're listening to your fellow co-actors, and when the scene's done and the director yells cut, you don't even know. You're like, wait, what just happened? Like, you can't recall what you did because the moment was so true and so pure. So you can't necessarily, like, do it again exactly that way. So I love that, and I love that smoothness, that butter when you hit a scene and you hit a moment just right. I'll tell you the obstacles that sometimes get in the way, what makes playing a character difficult is, like, for example, we were shooting last night and it was super, super cold. And so, like, you're trying to stay in the moment and your body's shivering, right? But you gotta take yourself out of that and force yourself into this, false reality, but your character's reality, to get to that truth in that moment and capture that scene right. So that's what's challenging, and that's what's beautiful. And then, just like what Josh said, you can bring parts of yourself and who you are, and even if your character is opposite or different from you, there are always points of connection, and you just got to draw those strings together.
When Marquis brought you guys the script for the movie, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, my initial thoughts is, you have a good script in front of you when you can't put it down. It was one of the very few scripts. Most of the time, most projects I've been involved in, I'm going to go ahead and have a moment of honesty here. Most of them, I don't finish reading them the first day. But Marquis, when he sent me Sugar Boys, I read it in one day. Because it's almost like, and I think we agreed with this, it's almost like Rush Hour and Bad Boys got together and had a baby.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
it's one of those types
High
of
praise
films.
right there. Yeah.
Exactly. It's almost like an M. Night Shyamalan film where you're not going to just want to watch this once. You're going to want to watch it a second time because there's going to be things that you didn't see the first time. So, I mean, that's why, a lot of these films in Michigan that get made, they're very rushed. Very rushed. They just want to release a film for the sake of releasing a film. But Marquis has taken his time with this because it's all of our baby. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to stand out from the rest because there's been so much love and care that's been put into this thing.
Dope.
So much. It's quality, it's action, it's Michigan made, it's all local talent. And it's like, and I think Josh and I can both attest to this because we've been on many different sets, but, like, I have not seen on any other set that I've been in Michigan or elsewhere, the level of dedication to quality control and care coming out of a studio here in our home. And so I'm so excited for the story that is going to be told out of our...
And the chemistry is there, too. That's important.
Yeah,
chemistry is so important because if you don't have the chemistry, then the performance is going to suffer. And not only you notice it, but the audience, they'll notice it. And they'll call you out on it. So when you have chemistry, the whole process, it's just a smooth one.
And I'll say this, too. I think a key for that, like what you guys are talking about, and I'm passionate as hell, man. I dive deep inside. I will spend sleepless nights to, if not perfect, but to do the best that I can. But a key that I find is, and sometimes I find that some people are shocked when they come on the set, and they'll be like, am I saying too much? Am I going too far? By suggesting something, or, they're getting passionate about it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, no. You do that, please, because I think that, like this guy here, you know what I mean? And Julia as well, like, they come on set and they bring, I remember we were, what was it, the factory scene or whatever, and he's diving into it, and I didn't expect, it wasn't something I wrote in there, and he's like, you know, and effing damn it on the phone, you know what I mean? And everyone's like, oh, but he's like, oh, I kind of came up with that. I'm like, no, that's great. Because what that is that's the artistry in the craft. If I, as the director and, you know, the writer, have to like sit and, you know, coach every minute of what everybody is doing, that's me doing every job. I don't want that. I want people who are confident to come on set. You know, I mean, I can't tell you how many times Julia will point something out, like, no, this doesn't make sense here and there. We have to do. I'm like, oh wait, that's genius. You know what I mean? It's genius, and it's also because like, and she's, you know, co-writer on the project, her and a beautiful friend of mine, Victor Goichevic. We have, I call it a brain trust in the writing process. I like to, you know, one person leads and the other people help to construct, and that's something that we're doing with our other scripts as well. Someone else may lead and the others will help out to make the best possible. But the key to that in almost any position, whether it's writing, you know, our stunt choreographer yesterday was doing the same thing. It's that you want people who can take on, not just take the role and take lead on it, but add their variation of creativity into that role. Because especially as an actor, and that's a hard trait to find. That's what's such a blessing about working with these guys. You don't get many actors, and it's not just Michigan. You get this in California way more than you think. You're dealing with people who frequently, they don't take on a role. They're just kind of happy to be there, and they spew lines, but that's not acting. Acting is you're embodying a character, and you're letting you soak up into that, and you're turning what I wrote into your version of it. And that's what it is. And that, like I said, that goes for every position on the set.
I've spoke to a couple other actors, and I want to ask you guys the same thing. And Marquis, you can chime in on this as well. Sure. Detroit leads in like Tubi films.
Yes.
But when you say Tubi movie, people are like,
yes,
you ain't trying to watch that. It's Tubi. And then they get labeled as Tubi actors.
Yes.
Does that term bother you guys, or?
Yes.
It does?
It does me. Maybe not Josh, but.
Well, it doesn't bother me because I think they're kind of disregarding the craft in itself. Like, these are people who love what they do. They do this because they love it. It's not necessarily that they're doing this for the money. Gee, I hope this gets put on Netflix. Gee, I hope this gets put on Hulu. Regardless if people see it or not, at least they got to make a film.
Right.
And that's the reason why I got started, is because I love this. This is, excuse me, this is one of the first communities where I started actually getting compliments, which was something I wasn't, that I had never heard in my life up until, you know, my first acting class. So you find a community and you do what you love, and regardless of if you make a dime or if you make $1 million, that's irrelevant.
Right.
So if it's on a Tubi film, who cares? I don't care.
What
I'm
about
fine with it.
I would say that depends. If you're saying, oh, well, those are just some Tubi actors. Like, if it's in a derogatory manner, because a lot of times people, you know, there are amazing films on Tubi, and there are also films on Tubi that are incredibly difficult to watch to the end. Like, they are, and I'm saying this with respect to my creative
Feel a little rushed, we'll say that.
They're unwatchable. They're unwatchable. So if you refer to somebody as a Tubi actor with those movies in mind, then none of our actors are quote unquote Tubi actors.
Right. Okay.
Our film is not a quote unquote Tubi movie in that capacity.
Okay.
It is a good quality film coming out of Michigan, setting itself apart from everything that's been seen here before.
That's why it's taking so much longer than your average Michigan film. Like I said, it's because there's actual care and passion and love going into it. We're not just trying to release this. If we wanted to do that, we could have released it 2 years ago.
Well, it would take 30 days.
Exactly, but it's quite the contrary, and people will see that when they see the movie.
And I've been on sets where they rush a film. It's done in 1 week. They don't care
I've
about
heard that.
lighting. They don't care about tonality. They don't care if they got the script or even the plot points right. You know, but like, that's the beautiful thing about the culture of our set, is when you walk on our set, there's not a weird hierarchy between background and principal, because like, it can get strange in different places you go. But then two, like, what we do with quality.
No, that's right.
That's the most important thing to us.
That's right.
We don't just want a story you want to watch or see because you're proud that it came out of Michigan, which you should be proud that it came out of Michigan.
Right, 100%.
But we are creating a story that you want to watch again, and then you want to go tell your friend about it. Be like, yo, this came out of Michigan. This came out of Detroit.
Yeah, 100%.
What?
There's a pride with that, 100%.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. And the thing, so my aversion to the term to-be movie or even to-be actor, it's certainly not the actors, because like Josh is talking about, you know, all these guys are aspiring to do something. I don't think anyone sets. Some people may set out to, you know, be part of the whatever. And even Tubi as a platform, I don't want to down them because like I was watching The Usual Suspects on Tubi.
Yeah, it's good. Like
Great
stuff.
It's great. Yeah. My problem, it's the ethic of why that term is in place to begin with, because what happens is, you know, it's the low-hanging fruit mentality.
Right.
And I think that's a cultural issue across the nation at the moment. I think that people, and I think it's just something that everyone's looking for an easy paycheck. Everyone's looking for a way to just kind of get it out. And in the creative world, in film in particular, finding a way to make money in film is a pain in the ass. It is a very difficult thing. But it does not mean, number one, the key to making like the success that you see and that you want, in particular in this age where Hollywood is sort of eroding what the standards, you know, it's gone. Like the old Hollywood system is down. There's something new coming. Entertainment's not going anywhere. But what that means is this is our opportunity to create a new standard. This is also, the field has been democratized. Anyone can pick up a camera, and that's a camera that can look good.
Right.
You know, that's a good thing, and it's a problem because what can happen is you're dealing with people who they don't educate themselves on the process. Like there's an actual skill to acting. There's an actual skill to producing, directing, writing. Writing is a skill.
People think it's not a skill to acting. That's the thing.
I think that
You'd be surprised how rampant that belief
it's
is.
it's
Okay. I thought that was kind of.
a lot of people come on set and they just assume like, oh, I just thought I could just read this with a little bit of emotion.
Oh, gotcha.
They don't understand. One, people are not prepared for the amount of tediousness that's required in film. You have to do takes from every angle.
Yeah.
Coverage is king. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want it to look good. Like, you know, there's a solid rule when you're editing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want shots to linger too long unless it's specific. And that's one of the key issues. But you see a lot of those, in quotations, to-be films, is that you get a lot of films that, you know, and some guys are just trying to hustle it out to make a paycheck. And I can respect that, look, because some people have built, you know, solid foundations off of that. I don't doubt, you know, I don't diss that at all. I think that that's fine in terms of you personally. I think as a whole in the film community, it's not good. Because there's a reason why it's hard to raise funds in Michigan. Is the first thing people ask about is, oh, this is just a Tubi movie. We've had that happen. Like, oh, I thought you guys were just making a Tubi movie. And then they see what we do and like, oh, wait, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're shocked.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa.
You don't really get that in LA. You know what I mean? People, they take the craft far more serious. And that's something we are struggling to do in Michigan. And it's because, you know, there's not enough care and attention paid to the craft itself, which has led to that moniker. And yes, I am absolutely determined to shatter that.
Nice.
So, and I do not like that.
Yeah, and just to kind of back up that point, and that's why I love seeing people's reactions to the content that we do have out for kind of teasing the film and stuff. Is like, even I have a lot of like SAG actor friends in LA and things like that, and I'll show them the stuff, and they message me, and they're like, so are you guys coming to LA anytime soon?
I was going to say that. I was like, the way the trailer looked, it looked like it was shot in LA, but then I'm like, I know that building. Like, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I've been there before.
If like the LA talent is wanting to come here to be a part of Enigmaw Studios,
Right.
that speaks. We're bringing a core and a magnet to Michigan when it comes to setting apart a studio in Michigan.
All right, 2 more things. Then I'm going to let you guys get up out of here. Being an independent film company, give me some pros and cons with that, because I know there's a lot of things, especially since, you know.
Scheduling. That's a big one. You have to juggle everybody's schedule. The more people in the production, the more possibilities of something going wrong, and things will go wrong.
Yes, and we have over
1000%.
200 people on our cast crew. So
Yeah. No, it's huge. I mean, scheduling is definitely key. You know, funding is a massive issue. You know what I mean? My company funded the majority of this movie, and we've got other investors that have come in, but it's like convincing people to take just even a small chance on your movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that's not an easy thing to do, and I think that overcoming those preconceived notions of what it means to make a movie by a studio in Michigan, that's a massive hurdle. It's a trickle down effect, because it goes from everything from the acting, because you have to find actors. You can't always choose the best of the best. You know what I mean? You might not always have access to the best of the best, even if the best of the best are willing to jump onto your project. So just finding the resources needed to accomplish. They're here. You know, Detroit is one of the most creative pools of talent, but typically they leave. They bounce.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, I think that's a huge.
I would say that one of the pros of it, though, is whereas we have to fight for everything that we accomplish, come hell or high water, whereas like the larger studios that have access to millions of dollars for their stuff, and I'm not dogging on any of them, but like I think when you have ease of access to things, sometimes your care and quality goes down. The storytelling is not as passionate.
You get lazy.
You get lazy. And so that's the beautiful thing about when you're an independent studio and you're fighting and you're going to make a mark and you're going to set a precedent and you're going to let the waters flow. You earn it all and you don't take it for granted.
It's a blue ocean. Is what it is. So red ocean would be filled with blood and waters over the competition fighting to accomplish. The blue ocean is clean waters. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what this is. So, and she makes a very good point. When you're not dealing, we're not dealing with Universal. you know what I'm saying? We have so much more control over here, and people are far more eager to get something. Like you said, when people see a solid film that they actually want to watch, they're very eager to jump on board and to help, and that's been a huge help for us.
Fire. All right, last thing. If people aren't sold quite just yet, why should they go see Sugar Boys? Josh, we'll start with you.
I mean, if you're looking to see something that separates us from all the crap that's been made lately, I would say check this movie out, because like I said in the beginning of the interview, this is going to be one of those movies that you want to watch more than once. This movie goes deep. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there. There's a lot of, I wonder what was going on in that moment. You're going to find a lot of that, and there's going to be a lot of action. If you're a fan of that kind of thing, you're going to want to check it out. And everybody's in for a treat.
Fire. Julie?
Oh, I mean, I just think, Detroit, Michigan, they're about to see kind of a bomb drop when it comes to talent and creativity and quality in filmmaking. And so if you don't want to miss that moment in history, like, go watch the movie. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. No, this is your city. You know what I mean? If you're listening or watching to this, I mean, this is your city, and this is something that raises the bar. This is, if you've been waiting for something to take serious in terms of this arena, this is the film. It's a badass movie. You know, it's got the kind of stuff that you want to watch multiple times.
Where can people go see the movie at, and when is it releasing?
So we hope to be finished for our first screener around Christmas time.
Okay.
Editing, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of visual effects in this film. There's a lot of just compositing and things that have to be done in the editing process, in addition to just editing the damn movie, period. But so it's not a guarantee that it'll be done by then, and we do want to release it at a time that's advantageous, right? So if it's not around Christmas time, we might push it back a few months to a good spring release or something like that.
Nice.
But after that, we will then be taking it to festivals and markets and whatnot for a global sale. So, so the exact release, I don't know, but for our community in Detroit and Michigan in particular, we hope within the next by the end of the year is our target.
Yeah, and we will let the community know, because we have spoke with Imagine, and they are supporting us as well. And so we will be releasing it to the local community first.
Fire. Okay, I can't wait. I'm sold. I hope everybody watching this is going to be sold, because I definitely want to see. I love the trailer that you sent me, so I can't wait to see it.
Thank
you guys for coming.
No,
I appreciate y'all.
Thank
Don't
you.
be scared to come back, because I definitely want to talk to y'all again.
Absolutely.
Especially when the movie drops, okay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We appreciate you having us.
105 The Bounce. Peace.